Hey cannabis community, it's me, I'm Cannabis, and I'm super excited to do this video today. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to jump on here because I have a really big announcement to share. You see, I quit smoking weed. Okay, well, for a month anyway. I have been dealing with some health-related issues, and I recently went and saw a naturopath. I suspected that my health issues are attributed to a high-stress lifestyle, lack of sleep, diet, and one of the things that I asked her is if she thought that cannabis consumption was contributing to my health issues. And she said probably not, but then she asked, well, how often are you smoking? And when's the last time that you actually did a detox? And I was like, well, it's been a while. So she suggested doing 30 days without any cannabis, and I thought, not a biggie. So I have just completed No High July, and when I look back on it, it's kind of crazy because the last time that I went 30 days without any cannabis consumption was when I lived in China 15 years ago. So when I shared about this on my Instagram story, I got a ton of questions from you guys. Understandably, you're like, what? You're not smoking weed? Why are you doing this? Have you had any issues? And so for this video, I want to do a Q&A about my experience quitting cannabis. So let's dive in. One of the most common questions I got is any recommendations for starting a cannabis detox? And for me, it was really helpful to just put it on my calendar. I wrote it on my wall calendar that I hang in my kitchen. I put it in my iCal so it pops up on my phone and my computer. I also told family and friends about my No High July as a way to kind of hold myself accountable. And as an added bonus, I also had a friend who did this with me, and she works in the food and beverage industry, and she also smokes cigarettes. And so she was like, I'll do this with you, and I'll also not smoke cigarettes. So it was really nice to have somebody, that was along this journey with me. So if you are looking for recommendations to start, I would say pick a day, write it down, hold yourself accountable, find other people to help you hold yourself accountable, and just go for it. The next question I got is, how am I detoxing? And the truth is, I just quit cold turkey. I just stopped doing it. My naturopath also recommended taking some NAC supplements. Let me see if I can find them. One second. Okay, here they are. It's kind of bright. I don't know if it'll focus on that. But anyways, she recommended taking some NAC, which is N-acetyl L-cysteine, 600 milligram supplements. They are supposed to support a healthy immune system. I honestly don't know what they're for, but I'm taking them. So I've been doing these as well. I've also been drinking a ton of water and just trying to make sure that I'm taking a lot of supplements in addition to these. I'm taking hair, skin, and nails vitamins. I'm taking probiotics. I'm taking beef liver capsules. I am waking up every day and drinking warm lemon water on an empty stomach. Just lots of things to kind of just help cleanse my system and push everything out. So one of the questions I received is, what were your first days of detox like? And for me, I was totally fine. And this is something that I think is so interesting about cannabis, is because I wasn't having any symptoms like any sort of sleep issues, stress issues, appetite or diet issues, anxiety, anger, irritability, none of that. And this is what I just was mind boggled by, is if you were to cold turkey most substances, alcohol, hard drugs like cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, opioids, pharmaceuticals, heck, even your antidepressants. They're like on the commercials, oh, if you're gonna quit your antidepressants, consult with a doctor beforehand. Like any other substance, if you were using a substance every single day for like 15 years and all of a sudden you quit cold turkey, I suspect you would probably have some sort of withdrawal symptoms. And for me, I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms. I was fine. So I guess everyone that says that cannabis is like a gateway drug or it's addictive, in my experience, it was not. I wasn't even really craving it. I just was like, oh, I want to smoke a joint. I'm going to go hang out with friends. Oh, wait, I'm doing No High July. Never mind. Okay, well, I'll still go hang out with my friends anyways. So it was just a very interesting, really interesting to experience that. A question that I also got a lot is, did you miss it? And let me just backtrack. So when I first got into the cannabis industry almost 10 years ago, I smoked a lot. I mean, I smoked a ton. I was working in a grow and we were smoking like from the minute we walked in the door to when we got off, I was needing to smoke a lot to sit in a room and trim for 8 hours a day. And even throughout my time in the industry, I found myself consuming quite a bit just as like routine of, oh, I'm gonna edit some photos, gonna smoke some weed. Oh, I'm gonna do this, gonna smoke some weed. And over the last few years, I have found my consumption has shifted to being a much more intentional smoker. Now I find myself only consuming at the end of my workday, or if I'm gonna do some sort of like special activity. Like I love to smoke before I work out. I love to smoke if I'm gonna go roller skate or in like social settings. So let's say I'm getting together with some girlfriends and we're gonna go hike or roller skate. Like I love to smoke and do that. So that's probably what I miss, is the social aspect of it. Kind of like the ritual of, like serving up a dab with your friends or like rolling up a joint. That's what I miss. It's not so much that I miss like getting high and like feeling like I need to get high. This is the other thing that I wanted to share that I found to be really interesting, is I know when people will get sober from alcohol or other drugs, oftentimes their friends that they consumed with will start to fall off because like they're your drinking buddies or they're your drug buddies. But for me, all of my friends that I smoke with, I still got together with during No Hide July, and we did the same activities we would do, but without smoking. We went to the gym and worked out. We got together and caught up or went paddle boarding. We just didn't consume, and nobody pressured me into smoking. When people asked, oh, do you want to smoke? Oh, I'm not smoking this month. Oh, no worries. People were super respectful and supportive of that. So I felt like that my community, especially my community of cannabis consumers, they were still here for me, and they were super respectful and supportive of my choice to do this detox. Okay, so you've done 30 days of no cannabis. Like, what are the benefits of that? That's a question that I totally get. Like, what are the benefits of not smoking weed for 30 days? And for me, I found myself waking up earlier in the mornings. I will be the first to admit I am not a morning person. I am a night owl. I like to sleep in, but that is something I'm working on, is trying to wake up with the sunrise, be more productive. And for me, it was super easy to wake up in the morning. Well, let me backtrack. It was easier for me to wake up in the morning when I wasn't smoking the night before. I found myself more rested, just easier to start my day. Let me just backtrack. Okay, so in regards to sleep, I've had people say that when they smoke heavily, they don't dream anymore. For me, I have never had that. I am a very vivid dreamer, but I found myself during this detox having even more vivid dreams than I already do. I also found it easier for me to remember my dreams. So like one of my dreams was a dream where I was back in college. It was my senior year. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, was my professor. And for whatever reason, I was just like not giving a FUCK about his class, and he was gonna fail me. But in my dream, I was like, you're failing me because I talk about you online. And it was just such a vivid dream. And I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what is my intuition telling me? And I've had so many dreams the last 30 days where I just wake up and I can really remember them. So if you have reached a point in your cannabis consumption where you're not dreaming, you A, should be going to bed earlier, and B, you should try to give yourself a little cannabis detox and see if those dreams come back. The other benefit that I noticed to 30 days without weed is that I found myself having more time in my day. I found myself just doing more of the things I love besides smoking weed. And let's be honest, sometimes that after work smoke break that's like, oh, just a quick 15-minute session, it turns into half an hour, and then you're like getting sidetracked and doing a bunch of other things before you do the thing you were gonna do. So I just found myself having more time, being more focused, and it was definitely a benefit, I would say. Okay, the biggest challenge. What was my biggest challenge of not smoking weed? That's super easy. Content creation. I love creating content. I love creating cannabis content. But But for me, I really needed this break. I've been feeling a lot of burnout lately with just like a heavy workload, and then also feeling like I need to maintain my cannabis account and always constantly be creating. I also reached this point almost in my content creation where like I wouldn't even get high anymore. I would just smoke, and then it's like, and so I almost just felt like I needed a break, and that's perfectly fine because you know what? Everything's still gonna be here when I'm done with my break. And so my biggest challenge was like not being able to create content, but I also, you know, took that time and that intention to like slow down, do more things like being outside, getting more sleep, spending time with family and friends, just being present, as opposed to constantly go, create cannabis content. Everywhere I'm going, I need to smoke a joint and like be camera ready to shoot for it. Okay, so what did you learn? What did I learn? 30 days without weed? Well, first of all, I learned that I'm not an addict. And this was kind of like almost like a ha-ha to myself, because I know that there are people who think, oh my gosh, you're such a stoner. All you do is smoke weed all day. You know, you've just been smoking weed for so long. You're like almost 40, although I'm not. I've got a few more years to go, but people are, you know, people judge, and especially people that don't consume cannabis, people that aren't in the industry. It's super easy to creep and judge, and so for me, it was a way of doing this and being like, you know what? I did this, no problem whatsoever. I'm not a stoner. I am a successful cannabis consumer. I am an entrepreneur. I am a business owner. And it was very easy for me to put down the dab rig, the bong, the pipe, the joint, and continue to live my life and be successful and contribute to society and be happy. And so that's kind of what I learned. And I also learned that a lot of the propaganda around cannabis, that like it's so addicting, it's a gateway drug, you know, it leads to other drugs. For me, that was not the case at all. Like I already said, I had no issue stopping cannabis, and that was fine for me. The other thing that I learned is that I have a lot more self-control. I have a lot more self-control than I guess maybe I even realized. Like at the start of it, I thought, oh my gosh, 30 days without weed, like, is that gonna be hard? Am I gonna miss it? And I didn't really miss it. It wasn't hard. And I know now that I can do things that I wouldn't otherwise want to do if I really put my mind to it. And if I need to prioritize my health, my wellness, you know, my healing, you know, I have no qualms doing things that, you know, I might not want to do, but I need to do. All right. So in summation, am I going to continue my cannabis detox? I really don't know. I mean, I'm 30 days in. A side of me is wondering, what if I do another 2 weeks or another month or another 2 months? Like, will I feel myself getting better and better? You know, so I've been thinking about that. The other thing I've been thinking about is just being a little bit more intentional in my cannabis consumption. I've also considered maybe cutting back to the point where I'm only consuming if I'm creating content, and only creating content a couple days a week. You know, would that be a better alternative for me, and just a better way to kind of find that balance with my consumption, my content creation, and everything else I'm doing? So now that I've answered your questions, I want to hear from you guys. Have you guys done a cannabis detox? And if so, how long did you detox for? How did it go? Did you have any withdrawal symptoms? And if you have advice for other people who might be trying to do a THC detox as well, let them know. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. If there's any questions that I didn't answer in this video, obviously make sure you leave them in the comments as well. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I don't really do a lot of long form content on here, but if that's something you guys want to see more of, let me know what you would like to see. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and have a great day. Bye.